It's been 6 months now, over 6 months, since Mason Greenwood had all charges dropped against him by the Crown Prosecution Service. Yet we are still waiting to find out what Manchester United's decision on Mason Greenwood's short and maybe long-term future is going to be. Will he come back to the club? Will he be sent out on loan? Will the club terminate his contract? We're waiting for that. And this long delay has created this environment which is toxic, which has gone on for way too long. And I don't like the way that Manchester United have handled it. And I think the club needs to be called out for it. There's a massive importance of responsibility that I don't particularly think Manchester United have done very well here. So what I want to do in this video is kind of run through it chronologically in terms of how United have handled the case. And then I'll give my opinion on it towards the end of the video. Please watch this. I think it's a really important conversation that needs to be had. And you can't shirk away from it, which is what I think Manchester United have pretty much been doing so far. And that's why it's taken way too long, man. It really, really has. Now, if you go back, as I said, back to February, was when all charges against Mason Greenwood were dropped. And that's when we heard that Man United, correctly by the way, were going to do their own internal investigation into everything that's gone on. And we expected to hear a decision. I don't know. There was no timeline on it at that point. But this is where it's changed in the last week. And I don't like how United have gone about it, right? So this came out around about the 31st of July, both from Samuel Luckhurst from the Manchester Evening News and Jamie Jackson from The Guardian, that Manchester United were expected to make a decision on Mason Greenwood before the season began. That's what we heard. That was what was being said in the press by those who have close links to the club in Luckhurst and Jackson. Yet, only a couple of weeks later, we're here waiting for the game against Wolves, waiting for the Premier League to start. And on Friday, we hear that Manchester United are delaying the Mason Greenwood decision to consult the women's team. The exact same story being reported by Samuel Luckhurst in the Manchester Evening News. And I couldn't really believe it, I'll be honest, because this happened in February. All charges against Mason Greenwood being dropped. Yet here we are, 2 days before the first game, and all of a sudden we're hearing that Manchester United are going to be consulting the women's team. And we've got to delay it because they're at the World Cup. Those same women that could have been consulted at any point over the last 6 months. Whether this is irresponsible reporting from The Guardian and the Manchester Evening News, or whether this is Manchester United trying to control the narrative, whatever the reasons for it, it's created an environment where women now are getting the finger pointed back at them. And all of a sudden, it's not Manchester United. Manchester United's not the reason this isn't going through. We've got to consult the women. Now, this group of female fans, female Manchester United fans, also did an article with Daniel Taylor as protests planned for the Wolves game, and they've released a full statement. I'll leave the link in the description on what they feel about this situation. Do you really need to consult the women's team to know what they're to try and understand what their perspective on this would be? It's staggered me. As I said, it feels like a shirking of responsibility, and this is the environment that's being created. Manchester United's female fans releasing this statement, and people like this coming out feeling empowered enough to make mad shit like this. And I can't get my head around it. And this is what I mean about the importance of responsibility. Now, with Mason Greenwood, okay, I'll speak about my opinion on this situation in a little bit. But Man United have got responsibility for Mason Greenwood too, which is part of the reason why this has been delayed so long. Whether he stays at the club, I don't think Oh, I say I'll give my opinion on it now. Mason Greenwood should never kick a ball for Manchester United Football Club ever again. It should not be even one not even one brain cell should be given to that concept. And everyone's, oh, Sam, he's innocent till proven guilty. I heard what I heard. You heard what you heard. When it comes to rape cases from charges to conviction, it's less than 1% in the UK. Is that because 99% of those victims lied? Or is it because it's extremely difficult in a court of law to prove a sexual abuse case beyond reasonable doubt? I think you know the answer to that. And that's really, it's just pissed me off, man. It's not pissed me off. Like I think I'm upset that Manchester United as a football club are actually considering bringing Mason Greenwood back in some capacity or form. Because it should be a very easy decision for our club. The long term and the wider impact of United trying to find I don't know, trying to find a way. Oh, maybe we can send him out on loan. I'm not sure. Maybe we can bring him back in. It almost feels like United are testing the waters, putting a little bit of news out there, kind of trying to gauge the reaction, see what's being said. And then go, why not? Maybe we'll delay it a little bit. Maybe we'll push that further down the line. And I do not like it. Because I think from a moral perspective there, it's a very simple decision. Because if United were to do that, then yeah, but the whole thing's left me pretty speechless. I'll be totally honest. It's such a, it's not a difficult topic. That's the thing. That's the thing that keeps going back round in my head. It's not difficult. I heard what I heard. You heard what you heard. Therefore, the idea of him kicking a ball for our club again should not even be considered. And you know what? You know what angers me the most is this. If Mason Greenwood was your run-of-the-mill Manchester United academy product, like a semi-talented midfielder, we would have already cut ties with him. And the only reason why we are this far down the line, why it's been over 6 months since the charges were dropped and Manchester United have still not made a decision, is a business decision. They don't want to lose a player of Greenwood's quality for free. They don't want to let him walk out the door. And that is the crux of the issue. Because it feels like Manchester United are prioritising the wrong things. And that is the cause of all of these delays. And as I said, I don't know whether this was irresponsible reporting or Manchester United genuinely trying to put the women back in the firing line. But it was weird. The idea that all of a sudden the female team had to be consulted when they could and they should have been consulted at multiple times during this last 6 months. I find this topic extremely uncomfortable, but I also think it needs to be discussed. And that's why I did this video. As I said, I think Manchester United have had a massive importance. A massive responsibility to do this correct. Because for me, it was a very easy decision. Yet here we are 6 months down the line and Manchester United have still not announced that. That tells you kind of everything you need to know. And yeah, the longer it goes on, the more I think that Manchester United are going to they're going to try and bring Greenwood back in some capacity, whether that would be loaning him out for a year, I don't know. But if we were going to cut ties, it feels like we would have already done it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe a statement will come out. We'll find out. But yeah, I wanted to do this video because yeah, the way that this story sort of transformed and changed over the last week, I haven't liked it. That's why I wanted to speak about it. And I suppose you can message me on social media, as plenty of you will, and let me know what you think. But I suppose sooner rather than later, we'll get confirmation either way.